In this video, we're going to take an in-depth look at each report page, as all told there are over 50 reports. This can be an overwhelming amount of information if you don't know exactly what you're looking at. The first page is the report page. It'll have the date, the personal details of the person who the report is being run for, advisor information, and if a cover page disclaimer has been chosen, that'll be here as well. Next is our disclaimer page, which is not optional. This will be present in each report. The top part of the page is our company disclaimer, and if you've chosen a custom disclaimer, that will be on the bottom half of this page. In the menu on the left, anytime you see a bulleted menu name, that's just the introductory page to that section. Next is the summary page. This is a great report, as you can easily see much of the data that was used to produce the rest of the reports from the benefits calculator section of the software. Next is the income analysis form. The intent of this form is to demonstrate the difference in income between the last month working and the first month in retirement. This is a great quick snapshot of what that will look like, considering all income factors, also keeping in mind that TSP board could take up to 8 weeks to distribute your funds. Oftentimes this can leave quite a disparity between the last month of work and the first month of retirement. The bottom of the page shows the impact of inflation. There's a lot of information here for the end user about inflation, and I think sometimes the power of this message can get lost in the wordiness of this section, so I think it's important to draw attention to the details of the impact of inflation. In this next section of reports, we will be looking at a grid and a chart for the annual report and a grid and a chart of the monthly reports. Depending if you want to show these reports as annual figures or as monthly figures, you can decide which reports work best for you or your client, or if providing this much detail would just be too overwhelming. This report is the income from only the government annually. Please remember that if you've chosen a lump sum rollout for the TSP dollars, these two columns will be empty. So again, we have an annual grid with this information as well as the chart, and we've got the monthly version of that same information. Next, we've got our reports for income from other sources, both annually and with the detail, and the same information but displayed as a monthly figure. Next, we've got our expenses from the government as an annual grid, annual chart with the grid below, and those same figures as a monthly expense. Next, we've got expenses from other sources, again, annually or monthly. Here we've got income and expenses from government sources. Again, you'll see each of these reports as annual figures and monthly figures. Here we have income and expenses from other sources, again, annually and monthly. And now we've got income and expenses from all sources, both annually and monthly. And if you've entered the appropriate data to produce this report, and you're looking at a realistic ballpark of those numbers, this is really what it comes down to. Here are all their expenses versus all their income throughout retirement. Given the current trend and the information that you've been provided, can it be done? Can one successfully retire? We find this is a very highly utilized report. Another popular report is the Proposed and Delayed Retirement Report. This is a 12-year snapshot if you or your client were to delay retirement. If you've seen what your annuity would look like and it just isn't going to be enough, what would it look like if you continued to work? The next report is the Survivor Benefit Report. Very easy to understand chart showing the annuity, the survivor's annuity, and the accumulated cost of that benefit. A very effective report in very simple to understand terms. Here you've got the annuity report. These figures are monthly, with and without survivor benefit. The next form is the FERS supplement and Social Security. If you're entitled to Social Security and or the FERS supplement, you'll see the supplement indicated here and the Social Security here. On the TSP reports, you'll see the details of your contributions, both current and continuing, and whichever withdrawal method you've chosen. On the next TSP page, you'll see more detailed information about those existing savings and the growth of those funds. There are separate report pages for the traditional TSP and the Roth. The FEGLI report page is another great, easy to understand report that will show the benefit versus the accumulated cost of this benefit. Most people don't realize the massive costs of FEGLI in retirement, And this is a great report page to deliver that information effectively. This next FEGLI page is a detailed breakdown of the previous form. Probably a little overwhelming for the average person, but for those of you that love detail, this is the form for you. This will give you the biweekly, monthly, annual premium, and accumulated costs for this benefit. Next, on the FEHB form, same thing. Biweekly, monthly, annual cost, and accumulated cost of this benefit. Should you or your client stay on the FEHB program, this most likely will be your largest expense in retirement. As you can see, the accumulated costs for this benefit are devastating. Once you take a look at this form and understand the costs involved, it might be a good time to look at a Medicare and a Medicare supplement. The next form is the long-term care form, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You'll see your daily benefit amount, lifetime benefit, and the monthly and annual premium, as well as the accumulated cost. This next form is a really popular form and shows the costs of the dual life insurances, FEGLI and survivor benefit, and the accumulated cost of these benefits. Once you've seen what you're spending for 2 life insurances, it just might be worth looking into some other life insurance alternatives. This is the individual retirement eligibility report, but all of this is reflected on the summary page as well. The creditable service page will show how much sick leave you've accumulated and how much time can be added onto your annuity, so this can be really valuable information. The High 3 average page, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Gives you the details of your High 3 average based on the data that you've provided. On the military service page, there is no calculation. This is just for your information. Will you or will you not be charged interest based on whether you have or have not paid the deposit? If you've indicated any deposits, those details will be reflected here, as well as redeposit. So that's it for the report pages. Altogether, there are more than 50 pages of reports. More often than not, I would think that's an overwhelming and probably unnecessary amount of reports to provide to one person. So feel free to pare that down to what's relevant for each client based on their elections and their needs. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you have further questions on any of these reports, please feel free to contact us. You can submit an email through our contact form on our website.